That's business, baby. We're here to we're here to have an aggressive, hostile takeover, and Gary's not gonna like it one way or another. $10 billion. Boom. And that inflated the stock significantly. Wunderbar. Look at my own stock, worth almost $30 billion in itself. Alright, let's look at that billionaire's guide. And we're at $90 billion. We're going to cross $100 billion. Welcome to one of my favorite games of all time, Capitalism 2, where you get to become a capitalist. We're going to go ahead and get started in a custom game here, and we're going to go ahead and do a few different things here. Let's go ahead. We have a large amount of cities. We got a good game starting year, startup capital. We're going to give ourselves a lot just to start. Random events. We'll keep it low. Competitors. Keep that low of a number one competitor. If we're really not going to mess with too much of this, we're just going to set the number of goals as a high year. And we will just see where we go. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start. And I like to play this game with a certain capitalistic quality where I like to run my business where I do very little work. So what we're gonna do now, as you see, is here is our city. There's a couple of different businesses we could in theory invest in, like a radio station. I think there's a television station here, information center. So I named myself Moneybags Inc. because that is our goal, is to become Mr. Moneybags and walk away with billions in our bank account. So one of the first things I like to build is apartment buildings, because if you want to make a large amount of wealth with minimal effort and input, one of the easiest ways to do so is just become a landlord. So I'm just going to go ahead and plunk that down there. And you know what? Let's just go ahead and put a second one up. One of the big things I look for in a lot of my apartment buildings, if you look at the land cost, is that it's $750,000, which is a good way to tell the market value of the land, meaning the apartments are going to be very popular. But one of my favorite features of this entire game is the fact that you can invest in your company and funnily enough, you can also invest in your competitor's company. So we're going to go ahead and look at our competitor's company, Anlin Inc., and we're going to go ahead and make a couple of aggressive buy offers here, where we're going to really ramp up the pressure. We're going to buy out significant portions of their stock with our starting capital, and instead of starting our own business, we're just going to really run with having them make money for us. So we're just going to keep on going. Let's see how much of this business we can purchase. And if you notice, the funny part here is I only own about 50% of my own company, but that's okay. That does not matter right now. We are in the process of making money through our competitor, because they are going to be the ones who make our money for us. So we're going to buy up as much as we possibly can. So we're going to keep on going. I still have 50 mil left, so let's keep on buying. We're going to have to keep a little bit of safety cushion, so let's just keep on going. Let's see, can I push, I don't know, 80%? Oh, if you look here, we got a fancy little word here called merger. We're not going to do that. Merging our company means that we would have to take responsibility. No. Mr. Gary Colbert III here, he does a fine job. He's a pretty swell businessman. So if you notice, just our purchasing of our stock has already earned us almost $20 million in profit. But we're not in the business of immediately cashing out. No. We're going to run the timer a little bit. And if you notice, after a few months of time, we're going to actually start driving a profit. And look, we're in the green now. Because our lovely competitors, we'll pause here for a second. Our lovely competitors, Anlin Inc., are very good at business. Their stock prices are $1,133, meaning our 83% stock is worth $2.7 billion, meaning we have just 10x our money in a matter of just a few months. We have turned a profitable business venture. And if you notice, good old Anlin Inc. here began divesting my own stock ownership by releasing new stocks. And they do so because their owner, Mr. Gary Colbert here, is not very happy with his very measly 13.51%. But if you look at my own stock here, I don't even own the majority of my own stock, but we're going to change. Oh, actually, I don't own enough to buy stock in my own company. Oh, that is embarrassing. We're going to buy as much as I can, and we're going to just, run the business for a minute. Let's see how long this can go. 54 million, so we just got another dividend payout. All right, let's see. Oh, $260 million. That's a good bit of money for us to work with. All right, we're going to be able to buy 5% back of the company. So we now own 53% of our own company back. And if you notice here, Mr. Gary Colbert has since consolidated his ownership of our company, our joint company venture. But that's all right. We're going to let him maintain some ownership because one of the big things that I want to do here is, if you look, this is the list of billionaires. And to show you how outdated this game is, which was released in 2001, the majority of this list is the Walton family, the Anschutz, Warren Buffett, Paul Allen, Larry Ellison, Bill Gates. And if you look very, very far down this list, you'll see I'm here with a net worth of $2.48 billion. So, worth a decent bit, but not a crazy amount. We're going to keep on running this and letting our lovely competitors continue to earn us additional money. This is one of the best ways I have found to become a billionaire, is just invest in your competitors, let them run the business. Oh, $390 million. Not too bad. It's a pretty good quarter if you ask me. Will be interesting to see. I'm curious to see when the next stock divestiture is, because I know Mr. Gary Colbert is not happy with this 14%. He wants to maintain majority ownership, and the fact that a stranger owns majority of his company is not positive. All right, let's go ahead and buy out the rest of these shares. And what we can start doing now is we can begin consolidating. But this I find to be a fickle game, because if you notice, they drive up the price massively. But if you remember, our company is now loaded and we have no overhead. We have almost no expenditure. Our value is just unlimited through the roof. And this is one of my favorite parts, is you just continue to consolidate your company. I like to still keep some people in the loop with my shares, just because I do find that the value still goes upwards the more people are invested. If it's just one person owning, the stock value goes down because it's not being traded. But yeah, as you can see, Ann Lynn, they're running quite the business. Oh, $1.1 billion. So we have just crossed the $1 billion threshold. And our stock value in this lovely here company is $26 billion. Not too bad if you ask me. So there's a couple of moves I want to do here that will set me up for life. Because if you look here, my character, Mr. Dr. Moneybags, he is, how do you say, broke. He only has just a measly $1 million to his name. Granted, he also owns 5,000 shares at almost $7 billion worth, but we don't like talking about that. And if you look on the list of top billionaires, that barely cracks top 30. No. We need to go deeper. Higher. So we're going to continue with the consolidation of our own ownership over this company. And we're just going to continue to offer, I'm not going to be able to afford that. We're going to just continue to buy out some of the smaller shares at whatever exorbitant price they offer, because I can afford it. We can afford it. This company is overly profitable. It is incredible. And now that we're almost out of cash, we just run the calendar for a few more months and wait for our lovely competitors to start selling back. So right now we're at $1.3 billion. That took no time at all. All right, William Yates, give me your money. All right. These are going to be expensive. Are you going to be right in my price range? Cool. I am cashed out at that point, but let's look at the billionaire top list. We are now 16th at $11 billion. So our neighbors on this list, Rupert Murdoch, Charles Schwab, Abigail Johnson, John Kluge, Michael Dell, and we're almost sniffing the Walton family, so we're getting close. So let's run it some more. Let's keep pumping those numbers up, baby. Let's keep on running these numbers and getting as far up as we possibly can. So we're just at a measly 791 million. Ooh, that was a low quarter. That was not good on the part of our competitors. What are you guys doing? If you notice, they're closing down a lot of factories. They're consolidating their business. Part of me does like to buy the television station. However, it can be kind of fickle with trying to earn money. I haven't perfected that art, but if you look at all these buildings our competitors are selling, wow. Business must be struggling. Our stock is worth $8 billion, but that is only going to go up because let's drive up some of that pressure. And you know what? Let's get a little spicy with it. We're going to buy back some of my own stock. Ooh. And that's where we like to get a little more fickle, because now that I have some money, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Anlin Inc. and I am going to purchase stock from my company. And let's see, can I afford anything? Probably not, but all I need to do is just get ownership into the company. So I just bought 2%. Oh, I could afford that. Can I do a slightly smaller amount? Dr. Mr. Moneybags, yes. Cool. So now my company has a lot more money, and we're going to continue consolidating, potentially. We may not be able to afford it. Let's see. No, you want way too much money. All right, they're starting to get wind that we are worth a lot of money. So let's run up the bank account some more. Because boy howdy, we still have some work to do. 1.7 billion. We're going to go a little bit further. We're going to push a little bit higher because I think we can go a little bit deeper. And the nice thing too is this means personally I'm earning a lot more money too. And if you notice, what I'm going to start doing is start transitioning a lot of my stock ownership to the personal account, where I have now $111 million. It's not bad. It's not great either. But we have enough money that we could buy out some of these larger owners and basically say, hey, I want to own my own company again. You know, I don't like that you guys got ownership of what I built, so we're going to work something out here. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And let's continue. Oh, that was a spicy one. See, he's going to want 900. Oh, over a bill. Wowee. You did not want to give me a discount. Let's see. 400. All right. So now we own 70% of the company. But again, what we're going to do is continue to purchase stock off our own company to see what we can get from it. Let's go a little bit lower. I basically just want to start transitioning as many shares over as I can, because that's how I'm going to rack up the most personal wealth. And I could also buy stocks back, but I overspent buying stocks back from other places. So let's just let our competitor give us some more dividends and start funding more of our own investiture. If you notice, green across the board, we are overly profitable. I mean, this business stuff is real straightforward. So if you notice, I own almost 4% of the entire company with $90 million worth of stock value and over $10 billion in my own company. But again, let's start changing that, because this is... Oh, she just doesn't want to sell. You get that. But on the same token, you can start over-offering and people will eventually pay out. Oh, I can't buy them. Let's buy them out. All right, cool. So I'm down to 70%. I can't really buy a hell of a lot for myself. So we're just going to do that and ride it out some more. Keep this going as long as I can because I won't stop until I personally have bled both companies dry. You know, my own profit above all else, as God intended. Because we are true blue-blooded American capitalists. We are here to $1.5 billion. Wonderful. Let's get down to business. All right. Let's buy back some stocks for myself. Cool. Now I'm going to take that money and if this isn't money laundering, because it really feels that way, let's buy some more stock off myself, hey? All right, now I have more money. Let's go ahead and buy stocks off of myself, hey? Let's go back to Moneybag Inc. Let's buy some stock. All right, now that I have... Oh my god, this is ruthless. All right, wonderful. Let's continue to do this. And then with Moneybags Inc., we're going to go back and see if we could buy this guy out. 1.6 billion. Perfect. So if you notice, there's not much left. There's maybe 25% outstanding. We're just going to continue rocking some money up, gathering some additional cash on hand. We're trying to gather some liquid assets to make some very aggressive merger acquisitions. If you notice, I'm not merging the two companies. That's because I personally am incompetent at running a successful business, but I'm very good at investing in very successful business ventures, and more than willing to let them fall on the sword on my behalf while I secretly just profit off of their margins. You know, I'd be a very good venture capitalist, I think. So if anyone working in a big firm, you know, has an extra job laying around, let me know. Love to give it a shot. All right, let's continue this acquisition process. All right, we're almost completely done with this buyout process. Are you going to extort me? Yes, you are. Wonderful. So now we are down to 80%. All right, let's see how much cash on hand I have. Let's purchase 1%. Let's purchase 1.6%. All right, cool. And then I still don't have enough money to do anything important, so we're gonna just keep running. You know, such is the nature of business. We have one good quarter, we reinvest those profits, and we continue on the inevitable march towards profitability. I don't really know what my end goal is here besides just beating capitalism, so we're gonna keep on going. 2.6 billion, that's pretty neat. And this is also why I paused the game, because this screen gets obsessive if you let it. But it is kind of nice because you get the cash rolling in and you can just continuously keep buying the stocks as you're getting paid out. Like here, boom, done, no problem. Now we're down to just 4%. I'm going to buy her out, no problem. All right, now this dude who owns 12% of my company. That's a problem. See, I gotta start getting some back, but I don't have enough cash on hand to buy them out entirely. So we're gonna keep going. And again, let's look at the billionaires list. We're number 3, so we still got a while to beat Mr. William H. Gates III. But boy howdy, we are trucking our way along. So now we can make some aggressive ownership bids. We're down to 8% outstanding. Oh, how I am thrilled to see that number plummet. 6%. Oh, are we gonna do it? I don't have enough cash on hand. Oh, now I do. Alright, perfect. So now Mr. Bob Braun does not own any percentage of my company. There's just 3 million shares outstanding. And what I'm going to do is continue to buy myself out of the shares. And I'm not quite sure how much I'm going to do of this quite yet, because I do still want to maintain a majority ownership. But let's lessen the burden a touch. If you notice, the stock price is skyrocketing because I am buying back, meaning there is a limited quantity driving up the price overall, which also has inflated my own net worth, by the way. So that Mr. Gary over here has a net worth of $7 billion. And if you notice, him and I have the exact same amount invested. However, I'm ready to change that. I'm ready to make a series of um, pretty aggressive acquisition offers to my own corporation. And this is where the money recycling program that I have going on here is quite nice because I go back to my own corporation. And like I said, I continue to buy stocks back, putting more liquid capital in my own pocket. So, my stock now is worth $10,000 a share. I own 2.5 million shares. I have $6 million cash on hand. Let's just continue to buy some more money from the corporation. So, good old Gary has no longer any control over the corporation. Or at least I believe that will no longer be the case so long as I acquire a full 50%. So we're getting there. I need another good payout here. We'll see. $25 billion, so that is incredible. Let's just buy some stock, okay? Let's inflate this price a bit. 125,000, 118,000. All right. Now can I buy out the majority share? Yes, there we go. All right. So now I am the owner, the primary owner of both corporations. So I have to be kind of careful. Like, I can't use Moneybags Inc. to invest in Anlin anymore. But it doesn't matter because I am now personally exceptionally wealthy to the tune of about $50 billion. It's really trying to climb. Gary's really trying his best to get up there. Ooh, did I almost dethrone Larry Ellison? That is the goal of tonight. How much further can I go? All right, let's continue to buy out some Anlin stock from my own corporation. And what I'm going to do is I will leave the corporation. I will leave the corporation with probably 15, 20% at the end of the day, if we're going to be honest. Let's do 2.9% if it'll let me. 2.9 purchase. Cool. So now I own 20%. Gary owns a lot. I don't like that, so we're going to try and change that. Moneybags Inc., let's go ahead and buy back some more of our stock. Because we're going to have Mr. Dr. Moneybags make a very aggressive offer to good old Gary Colbert. He's not going to want to, so we're going to have to really extort the price, which kind of sucks, but that's business, baby. We're here to have an aggressive, hostile takeover, and Gary's not going to like it one way or another. $10 billion. Boom. And that inflated the stock significantly. Wunderbar. Look at my own stock, worth almost $30 billion in itself. All right, let's look at that Billionaire's Guide. And we're at $90 billion. We're going to cross $100 billion. I think that's a great point for us to end this. I have just successfully defeated capitalism myself. Let me know your thoughts. This is one of my favorite games. It's called Capitalism 2. It was released in 2001. And boy howdy is it a lot of fun. And this is how you can also beat capitalism.